Welcome to the May Energy Forecast. Be sure to tag some friends or share this out to people who need to see this, because here's one thing I know. When we are in uncertain times, we need something to orient with. And for me, I'll come back over and over again to number one, understanding the energy, and number two, connecting with my intuition. So as you're watching the forecast or listening to the forecast, however this is making its way to you, I want to remind you that we are co-creating this. So listen with your intuition turned fully on. Listen with your whole being. Let yourself, hear what I'm saying and feel what I'm saying, and filter it through your filters of intuition, of knowing, of trusting. When something pings, that means it's meant for you. And if something doesn't hit, let it pass you by, right? So May, oh my gosh. We are in the midst of a massive transformation right now. And we know this because we are in the 9 energy year. I've talked a lot about 9 being this separation season, this cocoon energy where we're in the void. And we don't always know when we're in a void, what it's going to look like when we emerge, right? There's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of mystery. And that's part of being in the void, is trusting the process, trusting that so far in life, every challenge you've come through, you've sorted it out and you've come out the other end. And you will through this one as well. There's going to be so much shakeup. And for some people, the shakeup and the change, it's more in flow. It feels more natural. It doesn't feel as challenging. But for some people with certain codes, change can be really difficult. And as humans, we get used to things being a certain way and we resist the change. However, May is 5. And when you look at the numbers that are single digits, 1 through 9, May 5 sits right in the middle. So 5 is the pivot point. It's the shift point. It's the change point. It's the point at which we say, I'm done with the heaviness. I'm done with things feeling put upon me. I'm done with following the expectations and the requirements of others. And I am going to forge my own path. I am going to follow what feels right to me. And I'm going to trust that if I'm getting an inner knowing, a nudge, some signs pointing me in a certain direction, it's not by accident, it's for a reason. And what if I actually gave myself permission to explore that curiosity and to see where it takes me, to see what's available for me, to see, where it's going to go for me. The 5 energy, the movie, it's funny. Sometimes when I'm tuning into the energy to really feel what's coming up, it will show me, my intuition will show me metaphors in terms of songs and movies and stories and things like that. And the movie that came up for me for this one is Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken. Now, it's kind of an obscure movie. If you know this movie, comment and let me know. But as a child, it was one of my favorite movies. I watched it over and over and over again. But it's the story of this woman who is obsessed with riding this horse in a very unique way. And she does this like horse diving thing. It's a thing. If you're into horses, you definitely should watch the movie. And she becomes blind and thinks she's going to have to give up her passion, and does not want to give up her passion, right? And the story is the story of her and how she moves through it. And I think it's such a beautiful story and metaphor for what some people might be facing right now, where, you've taken steps to go in a particular direction and you might feel like there's some challenges in front of you. Like there's, a block in front of you, a wall in front of you, or the world wouldn't support you in a certain direction. And the movie Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, it's like, what does your heart say? What feels right for you? Letting May be the month of a wave of change, a shift. So the question is, how do you make this tangible and practical, right? How do you make this actually land for you? And the shift, in May is really about how can you switch things up? And, for lots of us, this can happen in different ways, right? It might be going on an adventure. It might be taking a little road trip. 5 is such a beautiful energy to travel in. So if you can get away, change up your environment, change up your circumstances, that's going to be very, very supportive for this month. Because why? Why is the travel important? Why is the adventure important? When you put yourself in opportunities where your mind can be opened and expanded and experience things outside of what you're used to, This is where new ideas will land. This is where your insight and your inspiration will land. This month, you do not want to be put in a box. You do not want to feel forced into a corner. So then do that for yourself. Put yourself in places where you can feel free, open, and expansive, right? That is the key with this energy. Okay, so if you're catching me on the live, comment, let me know you're here. Let me know what questions are coming up for you. Let me know what's landing. And let me kind of take a little more detailed approach to what's coming up for this month. One of the important things for this month to keep in mind is that we are going to have an opportunity to check in to figure out who are those people in my life that honor my seasons of change. Who are the people that I'm surrounded with that let me evolve? And this is the interesting thing when we're spending time with loved ones. Oh, hello, Victoria. Oh, I'm so glad you're here from the south of France. Beautiful. That's wonderful. Who are those people who let you be yourself and shift? The thing is, when people look at us, they're looking at an amalgamation of all of our past selves. Like if you've had a friend that you've been friends with for 5 years or 10 years, when they see you in this moment, they're seeing you as the amalgamation of all the versions of you over the last 5 to 10 years. And so it takes a very special type of relationship to let yourself be seen and for the other person to be willing to see you in a new energy as you shift, as you change, as you evolve. And right now, with this in the void energy of the 9 and this major change and freedom seeking energy of the 5, you're changing a lot. And it can be hard for us to see that, right? Like, it's like when you have children and you see them growing, they grow a little bit every single day. They kind of look the same. But if somebody hasn't seen your kids for a while and sees them, all of a sudden they're taller, right? It's the same with the level of growth that many of us are experiencing in 2025 and the level of change you'll likely experience in this May 5 energy month. So surrounding yourself with people who will honor that in you and see that in you and support that in you, right? And sometimes it's hard to know who those people are, but you do know who they aren't. And the other thing that you can do is you can have those really courageous conversations with people and ask for some of those difficult conversations of, what have you noticed about your shifting and changing lately? You know, what have you noticed about my shifting and changing lately? And if you have trusted friends that you can ask questions like that with, it will be such a profound and provoking conversation, right? Okay, so the other piece I want to bring into it is that there's going to be a lot of mindset shifts through May that want to be transmuted, want to be released. And it's like we're going through this thing where it's almost like you're going through your filing cabinet and you're removing a lot of the files that are outdated and unneeded, right? Or you're cleaning out your hard drive on your computer, or you're deleting the pictures in your phone, and you're deleting the ones that you don't need anymore to make space. I'm just on a call right now, Melissa. Oh, okay. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay. To make space. Okay. So you're going to need to make space, right? And it's like, how do I create that space so that the new insights can have room to land? And how do I put myself in new environments to spark and inspire new ideas to land, right? So there is going to be this like closing out of the past and reopening of the new nearer to the end of the month as well. Okay, so change, freedom, making, trusting your heart and not being put in a box, very sensitive. This month is very sensitive energy, which means for those of you who consider yourselves empaths, it's going to be important to manage your energy effectively and to bubble yourself, right? If you know a technique to bubble yourself where, yes, you still maintain connection, but you don't take on what doesn't belong to you. That's going to be a critical practice through the month of May. There's going to be a lot of compassion and a lot of, empathy available. And so it's a matter of using that wisely and not letting it overwhelm you, right? So there's some people who could use more of it, and there's some people who we need to learn how to work with it a bit, bubbling ourselves effectively, having good boundaries so that the energies of others don't overwhelm us and we don't take on what doesn't belong to us. Okay, so the first of the month, this is where, well, that's today. Today's the 1st of May. I'm still like, wait, is it? Yes, it is. The 1st of May is recognizing who your people are that will support you through seasons of change. Lean on them, invite them in. As we move forward in the week, it's all about really recognizing what are the patterns that I have in my life that block connection, right? Do you tend to isolate when you're stressed out? Do you tend to get overwhelmed and not know how to connect with people through that? Do you believe in the concept of a village but don't practice reciprocity, right? What are these patterns that you have that are blocking you from what's the connection that you truly desire? Because particularly around the 4th of the month, there's going to be this energy of there's an opportunity for you to collaborate with someone who there's this meeting of the minds energy where when you come together, you're both able to expand even greater into your vision, what's possible for you. You gain strength from each other, right? And these are the most wonderful relationships when there's that synergy where you can gain strength from each other. But in order to do that, you're going to need to release some of the patterns that might block you from connection. And then on the 5th of the month, wow, this is an incredibly powerful manifestation day for so many reasons. So it's a 5/5 portal. It's also a double activation day. So if you want to manifest something, this is the time to do it on the 5th of the month. It's about manifesting change, freedom, expansion, open-heartedness, compassion, or any strong intention that you have that you're like, I want it to be a start and an activation of this on the 5th of the month. Do a practice, do a ritual, take action on something like that, because there is so much like rocket fuel for manifestation on that day, especially manifestations that are going to involve change, which obviously most of them will, because most people are manifesting what's already happening. They're manifesting something different and something new, right? So this is going to be a very powerful day for that. Then as we move forward onto the 6th and the 7th of the month, there's a lot of leadership energy there. And the type of leadership energy we're being called to express right now is intuitive based, connection based, heart centered, right? We want to lead with heart, with connection, and with empathy. And those are the types of leaders we're seeking. And in order to find more leaders like that, the best thing you can do is practice those leadership traits with yourself, with your community, with your family, with your children, with your business, with your colleagues, wherever you happen to be. So letting yourself step into the fact that you are a leader and a role model in some way, shape, or form. And the most powerful way to do that is through connection, right? And through leading with your heart. So that's going to be the 6th and the 7th of the month. And going through to the end of that week, the 8th and the 9th and the 10th, there's some massive sales opportunities for those of you who are selling things, who are in business, who have sales types positions. And if you don't, maybe there's an opportunity to pursue a bonus or something. There's some financial opportunities that want to come your way on the 8th and the 9th in particular. These are great days to make a sales conversation, to make a pitch, to propose something, to ask for the raise. To move forward with like asking for the sale, asking for that revenue. So if your manifestation around the 5th was about a new income stream, maybe there is some conversations to be had nearing the end of that week, the 8th and the 9th. As we move towards the 12th, this is going to be a very strong day around leadership and trusting in your vision. So this day is really interesting because it's the 8 energy with the 7 of diamonds, and the 8 energy is very much about the CEO leadership type energy, momentum, commitment, devotion, putting in the work, seeing things through, being dedicated to something, really that high level of mastery. And then the 7 of diamonds is this trust of, when I commit to something with what's valuable to me, the values will be reflected back to me, right? So recognizing like, how do I lean into my values, create from that place, and allow that to be reflected back to me in wealth, in income, in money, in assets, in resources that are going to come my way, opportunities that are come my way. So it really is about taking leadership and trusting your vision and moving forward with that. Okay, Where do I want to go next? Let's see here. Again, the relationship themes are coming up on the 19th of the month. So there's this energy of thought leadership connected to relationships and connections. So it feels to me like finding opportunities to mastermind, finding opportunities to brainstorm, to share your ideas, to speak into being what you want with other people, and to let your community support you and for you to support others. That's the 19th of the month. And the 18th of the month, it feels like another very strong manifestation day, again, to manifest particularly around money, wealth, finances, and opportunities around the 18th of the month. So those are exciting days to work with. And then on the 23rd of the month, we kind of shift into this new cycle around the 22nd and the 23rd, where we're really sort of detoxing thought patterns, detoxing ways of thinking that might not serve anymore. And it feels like I've said this a lot lately, right? This like detoxing and cleansing of thought patterns. And it's because it's never a one and done when it comes to this. It's a journey, it's a process. You're going to notice as you go through it, like, okay, this is one that's coming up today. I'm going to work on shifting that, releasing that. But now that I've released that, now I'm aware of this one that might be the one that's creating stickiness, right? And it makes sense because this is the 9 energy year. We are completely transforming and transmuting this year. We are in the void. We are ready for a rebirth. And so in order to have that, there is a lot of internal reorganization happening with our nervous system, with our thought patterns, with the way we respond and react to things. So welcoming that in and embracing it and working with it and being mindful, what do I want my responses to be, my thoughts to be, my nervous system experiences to be, and how do I cultivate more of that? Oftentimes it's just a matter of practicing it, right? Doing it more, because the more you do it, the more you wire yourself for that to be your new norm. Okay. So it's like when you get in the habit of complaining, you'll complain a lot. When you get in the habit of noticing the positives, you will notice the positives a lot. One of the practices I did this morning on my morning walk, which is such a fun practice, is to stop and do a 5 senses noticing. So first I just closed my eyes and I just let myself feel the air. Right? And I noticed the air and then I named it. It was like cool and crisp, but it was warm in the sun and I could feel a slight breeze. And then you notice what you can smell, right? What is the smells that you smell? Notice what you hear, the sounds, what you can feel on your skin, the breeze, the wind, the cool air. Notice what you see, the colors, the textures, and let yourself see them even more deeply. It's not about glancing, it's about noticing them more deeply. And that level of presence will help you to rewire towards noticing those positive experiences in your life. So one of those pivots and changes you can make this month is to catch yourself. If I'm complaining, if I'm focusing or dwelling on something negative, I'm going to stop myself in this moment and I'm going to go through my 5 senses real quick. What do I smell? What do I see? What do I feel? What do I hear? Oh, taste. I'm like, what's the 5th one? Taste. What do I taste? So that can be a really powerful way to reset and to embrace some of these changes. Sometimes the changes feel so daunting. It's like, I don't even know where to start, right? Some of us want to just clear the table, and sometimes you can't. You have to just do things one step at a time, right? And that is sometimes the best ways to do it, because habits are more likely to stick if you are methodical about it rather than trying to change everything all at once, where it just gets overwhelming. Okay. The 27th and the 28th, this is, again, change being illuminated in how we communicate. So how you communicate. Mindful communication is so important right now because of all the changes that we're going through and how we think. And so you have to remember that the way your mind works is we fill in the blanks all the time. We cannot possibly take in all the data and all the information available to us. So we fill in the gaps based on our past experiences. So the slower you can be with your communication, the more mindful you can be with your presencing energy, the more you can start to recognize, where am I filling in the blanks here? And where is this actually what's happening in this moment? Where am I taking assumptions that might have occurred historically and applying them today versus where am I recognizing like there's so much change going on. Maybe my past experiences aren't necessarily as relevant as I thought they were. Maybe there's more change underway than I realized. So letting yourself embrace that. And then, like I mentioned, at the end of the month, 31st of the month, it is very much this old things needing to close out for new sparks of insight. There's going to be powerful insights landing for you on the 31st of the month. Insights that lead to change, as well as, again, highlighting the sense of connection, right? Community and connection. So who are those people who show up for you, who you show up for, who there is that reciprocity in place where, you know, they will honor you through your seasons of change and you will do the same for them? Where are those thought patterns where you can interrupt them with being very mindful and present in the moment so that you're not repeating patterns of the past, and letting some of those clear and release because there's some new insights that want to be birthed and born this month. Embracing the wildness, the freedom, the change, the winds of change passing through, the whole, you know, watch the movie Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, and just let yourself dream big and get curious about how do I take some of those steps towards that. Like, get the lid off, open up the box. We do not want to be stuck in the box anymore. That is what the 5 is telling us. It's like, open up the doors, let things be aired out, let things blow through, and see what's left. See where we want to go from there. See if we remove some of these expectations and the pressures around us, what do we truly choose? What do we truly desire? What do we truly want? So that is basically the May summary. I'd love to hear how that's landing for you. If there's any particular dates you want me to talk to, then feel free to pop them in the chat and I'll come back later and I'll comment on that. I do want to say, oh, you know what? Let me actually talk really quick about the 20th. The 20th also is a very strong intuition day. So it's a very important day to do some intuitive practices to receive whatever messages want to come through. I just had to backtrack to that because that day was yelling at me. So if you are local to Kelowna or the Okanagan area on May 6th, I have an in-person tarot numerology workshop. So it's a circle where we get to practice our intuition together. If you're curious about that, let me know. There are still a few tickets available. If you would like a detailed personal reading, like what I've shared with you right now is the universal. So it's quite general. But if you want to go in depth in personal reading, reach out, let me know. I'm happy to do a personal numerology reading for you. And we can really take a look at the specificities of your desires, what's happening for you, and how the energy is unfolding, and will support you with your goals and dreams. Because to me, you know, the forecasting is fun, but where the magic happens is when we align what you want, what you desire, what your goals are with the energy, and we figure out how do we make these two work together. That is where the magic lies, right? Yay, Mariah's going to be serving coffee at the Tarot Numerology event on the 6th. I'm so happy about that. Angie, your daughter's away at camp on the 21st to the 23rd. Let's take a look at those days for you really quick. Oh, yes, I love that. Okay, so the energy of the 21st to the 23rd is a beautiful energy of growth and transformation. So potentially expanding in her responsibility and in her maturity, and in kind of growing into who she is a little bit more. And there's also a very strong energy of success and community and coming together, and this idea of meeting of minds. So that feels like a wonderful time to be away at camp. And I'm super excited for her because I know those experiences at that age are just so powerful. Yes. May 4th. Yes. May 4th is all about releasing patterns that block true connection. So whether we've got stories we carry about, you know, who we can or can't be friends with, or the type of people we get to connect with, or how we connect with people, it's about kind of recognizing some of those patterns and releasing them to open ourselves up to truer, deeper, more powerful, more impactful connection. So, ooh, I love it. I love the chills. So good. So the rest of you, as you're popping in, catching this live or replay, comment below. Let me know, what's the number one thing you're taking away from today's call? please, please, please share this out, because the more people who can understand what's happening in the crazy world around them, hopefully we can all settle down, be a little calmer and a little more mindful, and work with this powerful change energy more effectively, which would be a blessing for all of us. And yeah, share it out. Reach out to me if you have any questions. And yeah, I'm just sending you so much love. Thank you for being with me today. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Mwah. Bye, everyone.